Gordon McGee here with Add to Your Faith. Peter, that fisherman turned apostle of Christ, encouraged the followers of Jesus to add to your faith. Hence my website and these short video logs on addtoyourfaith.com. What is faith? Well, it's often thought of as mere religious belief. And from the world's point of view, there are kind of two things. There's the negative point of view where you might say to somebody, have faith. And they say, I can't just blindly trust. It's often thought of as blind trust, isn't it? On the positive side, you say to somebody, have faith, and they say, okay, I can hope in that. And what they really mean is faith is kind of like, I hope so. But is that what biblical faith is? What is biblical faith? Well, biblical faith comes from the Greek word pistis, which means a persuasion, a firm belief based on knowing that I have heard, knowing that God has communicated to me. And in the Bible, it's always concerning God or Christ or spiritual things. Firm persuasion. Picture yourself in a situation that's uncomfortable to you, maybe new, and the decisions to be made are going to be life-changing. What do you base those decisions upon? When you're unsure, when you're uncertain, don't you want to have a firm persuasion about something? A conviction based on knowing that God is in this with you? That God has shown you something? So where does that kind of faith come from? Well, going back to a man named Saul, who spent a lot of his efforts hunting down the followers of Jesus, God met him on that Damascus road, revealed himself to Saul, and Saul eventually became the Apostle Paul, one of the greatest advocates for Christ and Christianity and the spread of the faith throughout the Greek and Roman world. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, Paul told us faith is a gift from God. That's where it comes from. It is God's gift to us. In Romans 10:17, he said, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. I can remember how this worked in my own life. I'm 62 now, so it was quite a while ago, but I was 18 once, and I was alone, and I was lost in this world. I was actually a young soldier who had run away from home. I was 10,000 miles from home. And over the last couple months, I'd really been thinking about all this. You know, who am I? Why are we here? What is this world that we see all about? And those questions just followed me. And one time I was laying on a bunk in our missile-ready bay, and I looked over and I saw a stack of Bibles next to the television. And I said to myself, you know, I've cursed everyone who's tried to tell me what's in there. I think I'll read it. And I started reading, and it was talking about a guy named God. It's like, wow, it really says stuff like this. It really talks about faith and belief and Jesus Christ and all that. So I took it with me, and I began to read. And one night when I was alone in my barracks room and I was reading, Jesus manifested himself to me. I didn't see him physically, I didn't hear him audibly, but he made himself so real. And he was communicating with my soul. I was hearing from God. He was telling me, this is who you are. This is who I am. This is what you're reading about. You need me. And I remember getting up, locking my door, and getting down on my knees. Save me, Lord. And my first thought was, I wonder what's going to happen next. Well, you know, my whole young life and teenage years, I had walked around with this phony self-protective mask on a stick. Stay back, keep out. Nobody gets in here. Nobody gets close to me. The next morning when I woke up, mask on a stick was gone. It was kind of mystical. I don't even know where it went to. But that was like the first miracle of what was going to happen next. And now, almost 45 years later of following Jesus, I have found that there is so much more behind that. I would like to share that with everybody in my new website, addtoyourfaith.com. I'm going to try to post these videos on a regular basis. And that's where you can find them. I'm also posting there a lot of things that God has taught me, shared with me, brought through me over the last 45 years. Thank you for listening. God bless.